Crafters, I'm so excited to show you this card tonight. I'm going to be making a pop-up Halloween card using the Bag of Bones Photopolymer stamp set, the Bag of Bone dies, and THEM Bones Designer Series paper for the background paper. I got this idea from Lisa Cursio when she made her How to Make a Pop-Up Christmas Card using this incredible fun fold. Only I made mine a graveyard with the gravestones popping up out of the ground and the skeletons popping up with them. Hi, I'm Joan Heberlein, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan's Simple Papercrafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started.
Here's the card we're going to make tonight. This is called a Stadium Fun Fold. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a cemetery. And my fun fold is going to be the tombstones popping out of the grass. So here we go. We use the Bag of Bones Photopolymer stamp set, the Bag of Bone dies, and THEM Bones Designer Series paper. This piece is from the THEM Bones Designer Series paper. It's the bats, and then these are the tombstones. I did use some of the die cuts from the skeleton page of the Designer Series paper. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm sorry this card is coming out so late. I had COVID, so I had to stop production, and it just took me this long to get it out here. We're going to start with a piece of Cajun Crage cardstock, cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches, or that's 10.8 centimeters by 28 centimeters. I have it scored at 2 places. That's at 5 3/8, or 13.7 centimeters, and 5 5/8, and that's 14.3 centimeters. And I'm just going to fold and burnish that. Let me get this out of the way for right now. I'm just going to fold and burnish that on each of those pieces. What that does, it gives us enough room to have the folds on the inside without having it look real bulky. Okay. Then next we want to take a piece of basic black, and we're going to have a piece cut at 4 1/8 and 5 1/4 inches, and that'll be 10.5 centimeters and 13.3 centimeters. And this is already cut at that. We're just going to glue it here, and we're going to leave 1/16 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And I'm going to do that right away. And we'll get our rubber mat here to protect our work surface here. And I'm going to have that be centered in this on this front side of the card, and by gluing 1/16 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. Oops, it shifted on me, so let me pull it off before it sticks too much. There we go. So 1/16 of an inch for a border, or that's 0.2 centimeters. Then we're going to take our next piece of Designer Series paper, and these 3 pieces are cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, or that's 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And I've done all the cutting and scoring ahead of time to save us some time on the development of this card, because I want to concentrate on the inside of the card where the pop-up is. And so we're going to center this on the basic black and leaving 1/16 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And that's going to give us this. And 1/16 of an inch is 0.2 centimeters. And then we'll do the same thing on the inside of the card, only we're going to use 1/8 of an inch. Now, I cut both of these pieces out at the same time. So as you can see, then I cut them right here. And so I'm going to make this the top piece and this will be the bottom piece to kind of give it some continuity there. I'm trying to not be croaking at you. My voice kind of still cracking quite a bit. So we're going to make this 1/8 of an inch for a border along the top and the sides and the bottom there. We'll do the same thing on this piece. And that's going to be 0.3 centimeters then for the border. There, and I'm just going to take my bone folder and just get all the glue bubbles out from underneath. We'll just set that aside for right now. Next, we have our Cajun Crage. It's a 6" by 7 3/4 inch piece of cardstock, or 15.2 centimeters by 19.7 centimeters. And we're going to score it along the long edge. Let me get my trimmer out. And I'm going to open up the arm because we're going to need to get past that 6 point here. We can do up to 17.5 inches or close to 44 centimeters. So our first score is going to be done at 3 inches. 3 inches would be 7.6 centimeters. And we're just going to score that. Then we're going to do 3 3/4 inches. And that'll be 9.5 centimeters. The next one's 4.5 inches, or 11.4 centimeters. I almost grabbed the trimmer. And the last one is done at 7.5 inches. So right here. And that's going to be 19.1 centimeters. Then we're going to turn this 1/4 turn, and we're going to cut it at 1 inch. 1 inch would be 2.5 centimeters. And then we're just going to slide it over and do one more 1 inch. And we're going to do that 5 more times till we have 6 pieces here. Now this trimmer has these blades right on the track, and they move out of the way so you don't have to change them out of the way. This moves all the way up to the top, and this cutting blade will move up and down to the bottom. I think we're done with this. So then we're going to take these and we form those into our pop-up mechanism. So first we want to do is we want to fold this on the middle score line, and we're just going to fold and burnish it. Then you take the 2 next closest ones and you fold those over and fold and burnish those. And then we've got our last piece is just on the very edge here at that 1/4 inch or 0.6 centimeters. And we just fold that over. Let me see if I did it the right way. Nope, we want to fold it inward. And I'll fold and burnish that. Then we put glue on that. And I'm just going to use this and put a couple glue dots here. And I'm just make sure that it's lines up at the top and the bottom. So at this edge and at this edge. And there, we got that done. And then to save time, I've already went and did the other 5. So we have 6 of these here. So what we need to do is make our pop-up mechanism. So we're going to glue these together, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus because that has the most strongest adhesive that we have. And I'm going to put a glue strip within 3/8 of an inch from this edge. And I've got some that's stuck over here, so I'm just going to fold that over. They're little strips there, so they fold over really easy. You don't want to have it sticking out because that'll mess up your pop-up mechanism. So I'm just going to get that all inside there. Then you take your next piece. So you take the folded end here, that hinged end, and you put those all together. And I want to make sure I get this on here close to what we need it to be. And I want to make sure I'm putting these on the same way. So I'm going to do it this way. Yes, I did it that way. So the folded hinge is right here. And so I want those all to be facing the same way. So it's about 3/8 of an inch. And then I want to just do this 3/8 of an inch on the bottom. And now we're matching up this edge and this edge. We just want to do that, and then we're going in with our next one. Another adhesive strip, and we'll fold that over. We don't want it extending past the edge of the paper. And I'm going to have to do a little bit here because it's not all the way to the edge there. Because we want to have the adhesive all the way along that strip. Now, as we're building this, we don't want it to go beyond 4 inches. So I'm just going to get my ruler here, and that 4 inches is going to be this length right here on the card. So we want this to fit inside this right here. So you can either use the paper itself as your guideline or use a ruler. I'm going to use a ruler because I don't want to go off kilter and then have the glue onto the designer series paper. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that is all folded up again. There. And I'm just going to check this again. If we do 2 more, we should be fine. This one I'm going to just go a little bit closer to 1/2 an inch because I noticed that I was a little bit off there on my measuring. Okay. And then we should be just right. Okay. I'm going to bring it up here. Okay, that is good there and good here. So they're pretty much even. These are probably a little closer to 3/8 of an inch that I did that. And then I did closer to 1/2 an inch on these other two because they just ran out of a little bit of space there. Next, I'm going to put it inside the card. And what you want to do is you want to put adhesive on this bottom tab. So this is going to be the bottom tab here. See how we have it open? So we're going to just flip this over, and we're going to take this 1-inch strip here, and we're going to cover adhesive on there. I'm going to do it across the top and across the bottom. Then we're going to attach that close to the fold line, just inside that fold line and inside the designer series paper. So that's our first one, and I didn't push it down really hard because we may have to adjust it a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing to the top portion. So we're going to put our glue on here. And now we want to take this just inside the upper fold line, and to the edge of the designer series paper, as close as we can get it to the edge of the designer series paper. Okay, and let's just see how it looks. I think we're good, so I'm going to use my bone folder and tack everything down. And turn it and do the same thing on the top part. Okay, so next we want to do is our inside of the card. So let me get our pieces here. And I'm going to put this tape away, because from this point forward I'm going to use glue. So we have this right here, and I'm going to bring in our other card so we can see how we did this, because I'm going to make it a little bit different. I put this cowboy at the top on this card here, and I don't like how you don't really see much of the cat when you pop it up. So I'm going to put the cat at the top and switch the cowboy with the cat. So we're going to take this one here. This was made of the small tombstone and out of the gray granite cardstock, and it's stamped the blue on there with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And then this cat was from the Skeleton Designer Series paper. I scored a line about 3/4 of an inch here to fold over to put in the top fold line. So see where the fold line is here in this pop-up portion? We're going to make this fold line match right there. And I'm just going to put some glue on here. Let me get this over here. And actually it might work better if I put it on here, because I don't know where to stop on the other piece. And I'm just going to set it right there. And just squeeze that in place. Yep, and he slides down, but when you pop him up, he can pop up there, okay? The next we need is our cowboy. And the cowboy has this lasso. And this is made from our baker's twine. And I believe this is the crumb cake in the baker's twine. And what we need to do is we're going to make the lasso. And I'm just going to tie a knot right up here. So I did right over left and under. And then left over right and under. I can get it to go without twisting on me. And then we're just going to do pull those loose ends. So we've got a lasso here now, and we're going to put the glue on here where his palms are. So right here, I'm going to make sure that you can see this. Glue right here and glue right here. And while that's drying, I'm going to take you to another piece and talk through that. So this skeleton was also taken from the designer series paper, the skeleton sheet, but then we cut the cowboy hat out of a scrap of Cajun craze. And that's a little tacky right now, so I'm still not going to do anything with that. I'm just going to set it aside. So our next piece is the guy and the girl, and she was stamped with Balmy Blue using the Bag of Bones stamp. And then he was done in the gray granite with the same Bag of Bones. And I just interlinked the center arms so that you don't really see them. So it's like he has his arm around her and her arm is up behind him. Then her heart is done in the Flirty Flamingo, and the rose is done in Flirty Flamingo. And then her hat is done with Lost Lagoon. But we need one more thing on the Flirty Flamingo. We need to stamp the bow tie on her hat. So let me see if I can't get this open. So we're going to take the bow tie, and we're just going to put it on there, right at the base of her bows. There. And we're done with that. But we do have a little bit of tackiness on this rose here. So I am going to take our embossing tool. So this is our embossing tool. When you buy it, you get all 4 of these pieces. And this is the piece that we're going to use. It has some powder in it that will take away the tackiness. And I'm just going to put that right back in there because we're going to have to do the other roses. And then we've got this one already. Oh, I need to do the legs too. Got a little overzealous when I was gluing those legs. And right there. Okay. And I'm going to just take this off from here. There. And then our next one is this one. Same thing. We use the same piece for the background, the tombstone. And then we used smoky slate for the bones. And then we use the Flirty Flamingo for the rose. But then we also use the basic red, or real red, for the heart on this one. And this one, there's no tackiness, so we don't have to do anything else with that. So we'll just leave that up there. Oh, but we do need to give him his hat, his mustache, and his scarf. So let's do that right now. I'm going to open up our tuxedo black. And I'm going to have to get my head in here so I can see this. Sorry about that. I want to be right above it. Okay. Now, you can see the hat didn't work real good on there because it's 2 dimensions there. And I don't need it to because I already have some that I die cut. So we stamped these on basic white and then I die cut them out. So I am going to just glue those over the top of that, and that'll fix that part of it. So the hat's there, and then the next piece is the scarf. I am just going to use this to get the scarf in the right spot. Okay, and this piece is all done then. And we have one more piece. And this one, it was done with pumpkin pie. But then the hat and the bow tie and then this dancing stick were all cut out of basic black cardstock. Well, I should have been a little more alert of what I was doing. I got all this glued in here and it had stopped right when we got done talking about this guy. So we had one more panel that we did the tombstone out of the gray granite. And then we did this with the Memento Tuxedo Black. We stamped those sentiments there. And then the skeleton was cut out of the Skeleton Designer Series paper. Let me go back up here. Next we put in the cowboy. And on the cowboy, glued it down here. And I glued these onto place. And then when the glue dried, I went in and I used this to dry up anything excess because I don't want any extra glue to mess with the pop-up mechanism. Then our next one was these boy and girl. And that's when I realized I forgot to cut off this here. And actually we can do it because it's popping up. And I'm just going to cut it right there and cut it right there. What you really want to do is you want to cut it from behind. And I had this glued down here, so I'm just going to get that done there. Okay, so then on these two, we put the glue on the upper mechanism right here. And then we just pop the cowboy right on there. And the same thing with this guy. Then for this guy here, again, we did it on the upper portion here. And then we did the same thing with this one here. We did it on the upper portion. And they all were on the far left. Until we get to this bottom one, we did it on the bottom portion, this part here, and on the far right. And so then we have our mechanism, pop-up mechanism. And what I mentioned to you that was cut off from the video was that I think this kind of tells a story We have these two suitors here that are trying to gather her attention. And here's one that already has her attention. And then this cowboy is trying to gather her attention too. So I'm having them all trying to get the lady's attention. Okay, so what we need to do next is make our belly band. And how we do that is we're going to take a 1-inch piece of cardstock, cut at 10 inches long. And let me see what that turns out to be in centimeters. This would be 1 inches by 10 inches, or 2.5 centimeters by 25.4 centimeters. And you want to soften this so that as we're putting it on here, it doesn't crack on us. So to do that, we're just going to take our bone folder and just run it back and forth. And I'm going to do it both ways. There we go. And then we bring it around the card. And you fold it over in the front. And it overlaps about 1 inch. And I'm going to take our tape, so the Seal Plus tape, and just get that on there. And that is put on so that it'll slide on and off. See how easy that is? And then you just want to put it back on. Of course, now that you can see the seam there, so what you do is you put a piece on the front of it. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to just square this out and then just kind of fold it so that it works a little bit better. So what we want to do is we want to put Happy Halloween on there yet. So we're going to take our second smallest deckled rectangle die, this one right here, and we're going to cut this on here. So let me get my cut and emboss machine. We got the mini cut and emboss machine here, and we've got our dies, and I'm going to turn it this way. It's easier for me to use. And we want to stack it this way. We're going to use this sheet here. It says to put number 1, so that's this cutting edge down here. And then number 2 plates, those are cutting plates. There's one number 2. We're going to put our paper down, then our die. And I don't have a lot of room on there, so I want to make sure that it's not off the edge there. And then we're going to put the second number 2 down, and then we just crank it through. Then we're going to take this piece and we're going to stamp that with Happy Halloween using our Memento ink. And that's in the tuxedo black again. I'm just going to make sure. There. Then we're going to take a few minutes to wash this stamp. So I've got some paper here that I can just stamp the excess ink off of. Then I'm just going to take our Stampin' scrub, and you want to just spray one side with your Stampin' mist. And I'm going to spray it on the side that has the raindrop right here. And this one has a sunshine in it. So that way I always know that I'm going to scrub it on this side and dry it on that side. And I cleaned up the other dies off camera because of the camera not working. So it was done off camera, but those are all cleaned up. So we only had the one die left to clean up now. We've got this that we want to put onto our card. And I am just going to put some more tape on here. Oop, tearing. So let me just get past that point. And we're just going to center it as best we can. There we go. So now we're done with our card. So we will open one up. Before we go tonight, I want to let you know about Stampin' Up's Anniversary Starter Kit. We have 2 starter kit options. If you join my team, you can either join using option 1, which is 35% off the cost of your starter kit. So that would be $125 worth of products for only $64.35. Or the second option would be 35% more product. So you'd be able to select $168.75 worth of product for only $99. So give me a call or sign up using my website. I'd be happy to have you join my team. It's time for you to save on your favorite Stampin' Up! Products. What's the big occasion? From October 9th through October 11th, we're offering free shipping on orders subtotaling $75 or more. This incredible deal lasts for 3 days only, so don't miss out. Now, didn't you have fun working on this Stadium Wave Fun Fold card? What would you use for your Stadium Wave? There's a lot of options out there. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji. That means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends or pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I love to be your demonstrator. And don't forget about joining during the month of October and save 35% on your starter kit. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Sunday, October 15th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing something new from the new mini catalog. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight, and I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.